We're recording.
Yep, recording. Call this meeting to order at 6:03 p.m.
Tyler, I was gonna ask if you would be willing to switch the draft audit presentation to be the first bullet point instead of public comment. I asked Howard if he was okay with that, and he said yes, as long as you're okay with it.
Yep, sounds good.
Just that way our auditor can do his piece and take off.
Yep.
In that case, I will just let everybody know there's the draft audit is in front of you. I apologize. We got Bill. I think you sent it like 45 minutes ago or so. So
I did.
Fresh off the press for me. We will not be approving this tonight. I included the resolution to approve it, but we're not approving it tonight. So you'll have time to review this closer after. But since I have it, I figured we'd jump in. And if you guys at any point want to go into executive session to talk to the auditor without me in the room or without public in the room, definitely feel free to do so. And I put the motion in there to do that.
All right.
If you're good, I'll let Bill take it away.
Yeah. Right. Are we good?
We're good.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for having me, everyone. I think this is my first time presenting the audit for Jacksonville in many years. So my name is Bill Kaiser. I'm the partner at Cattell, Brannigan and Sargent in charge of the Jacksonville Electric audit. We're up in St. Albans, Vermont. We do a lot of the other municipal utilities as well as both cooperatives in Vermont and one cooperative in Maine. So we're fairly in tune with the industry and the whole purchase power world. As James had noted, we were on site for the audit just like a week and a half ago. So we don't have the audit completely done yet, but I did want to take this opportunity to present at least a draft to you. For December 31st, 2025, we are prepared to issue a clean, unmodified opinion. And honestly, I don't think the draft is going to change much, if at all, from what you have today. We've been through everything as far as the chart of accounts go for Jacksonville and audited all the balances, tied everything out. The only thing that might change is when I was going through the draft today, the retirement footnote seems a little out of place. So I might just rearrange some of the footnotes to be more consistent with some of the other utilities that we audit that are municipal and have the same type of format. But overall, as far as the audit for Jacksonville goes, we made a number of journal entries. James has those as of today to review and he and Amanda can start posting them. Nothing to be alarmed about. That's pretty typical for Jacksonville over the years. But during this year's audit, I did give James and Amanda some best practice tips, really to eliminate some of the typical entries that we have. Things like posting loan payments against the loan versus to expense. Doing this would kind of give the board and James a more accurate reflection throughout the year of what the actual operations are, rather than seeing one bottom line and then having the audit wrapped up and seeing a completely different bottom line that you're not familiar with. So we did give some of those best practice tips, and they both seem highly motivated to start following them to get the books more in line with how the audit is reported. The main thing to mention with Jacksonville, 2025 is obviously the first year where there's an obvious noticeable increase in revenues due to the rate cases that started in 2024. Jacksonville had its first rate case in 10 plus years. This increase was consistent with kilowatt sales year over year, but there was still a steady increase of about 25% of power sale revenues, which aligns with your rate cases in 24 and a little bit of 25. The problem with the rate cases is you don't really feel the full effect of the rate case until a full year down the road, because the 25 rate case didn't really go into effect until September. So you're not really seeing the values of that yet. Still, with the fluctuations in purchase power, it's really hard to get a good read on what your rate case 2 years ago is going to do to your bottom line today. just because purchase power and transmission costs, especially in 25, were kind of unpredictable, and transmission went through the roof. But overall, we're noticing a steady usage in kilowatt hour sales, but an increase in revenues. So the revenues increased, I do think, is strictly because of the rate case. Like I noted, there's still a loss and reduced cash flow year over year. But I think positive efforts are being made on Jacksonville's part to improve these areas specifically going forward. The loss from operations in the financials for 2025 was $264,000 compared to $270,000 last year. So a very slight, unnoticeable improvement overall. The reduction in cash flows in 24 was $52,000. That's an improvement in a reduction of cash flows $110,000 last year. And I'll get more into specifically why I think cash flows did actually improve year over year in a little bit. Last year, there was a large accounts payable balance due to the VIPSA accounts payable. Specifically, it was all purchase power pretty much. As you all know, that AP was financed into I think a 6 or 7 year note. And currently, Jacksonville is keeping up with all of their purchase power invoices. Even throughout the year, they were paying, the utility was paying the current invoices while racking up that old bad debt and or those older APs and negotiating with VIPSA on the long-term note. It's beginning in July. That note will become principal and interest payments. Right now, Jacksonville, since September, when the note went into place, was only paying interest on that, and they are still today. So that'll change in like 2 months. A little bit more cash flow out, but you'll start to see a steady decline of that note payable going forward. Another thing that Jacksonville has really done over the last 2 years, I think this started when James came on board, is Jacksonville is now utilizing some of its own part-time linemen, which from what I can remember, I think before a year or two ago, it's probably been at least 10 years since Jacksonville had more than 2 people on the payroll. So this will help substantially, I think, going forward. Obviously, you'd still need to rely on GMP. And when we were there a few weeks ago, James was talking to another utility, I think in Massachusetts, that could come up and do some mutual aid for you, especially during storms, at hopefully a cheaper rate. But less usage of GMP and those high costs, especially through doing the work on your own when available, will definitely help going forward, especially in storm situations. Storm and outage situations. Another thing that is noticeable, I think, if you look at other revenue up in the operating revenue section, is the increase in billing customers for like contract services and line extensions. While there was a little bit more work volume in 2025, so the expenses are also up. Looking over each individual job, it's clear that Jacksonville is starting to charge more of a premium on that work to get a little bit more revenue generated outside of purchase or power sales. And when we were talking to James about it, I think he's going to start playing with charging trucks and things like that as well. So this is a practice that hasn't really been in place at Jacksonville, not consistently anyway. I feel like a lot of those charges had been really undercharged and just a small percentage of the actual cost. So now we're starting to see Jacksonville charge above the actual costs and make some money on those contract labor opportunities. One other big change in the financial statements, I had mentioned retirement footnote. A lot of boards get a little alarmed with the liabilities as percent. So you'll see like a $12,000 net pension liability and probably a 2 or 3 page footnote in regards to the VEMR's plan. This is something Jacksonville became a part of when James was hired. And now both James and Amanda are part of the VEMR's plan. And what the liability is, it's kind of so the state is required to have their pension audited, and they bring in an actuarial to do a study, and it shows how much of the plan is underfunded statewide. And right now, with Jacksonville being so new in the plan and not much of a liability, the calculation for Jacksonville is about a $12,000 net pension liability, is what they call it. This really is completely out of the control of Jacksonville Electric, managing this liability. If you look at some of the municipalities in the state, they might have $1 million in liability. And quite honestly, it all depends on the year in the market. And really the stock market and how the values of the state's pension perform that way. That's one of the major variables with these fluctuations. But I just wanted to point that out as a liability that's not really something that's ever going to be a cash outflow to Jacksonville. Starting in November 2024, Jacksonville switched over to the El Dorado billing system. I'm sure many of you are aware of that. During the audit, we tested the current AR aging, which now includes both net metering and regular power supply customers. And the El Dorado system does appear to be working properly. We took a large sample of customers and had James produce their December 31st billing, and everything matched up and we saw no issues. So what we did there is we've always had a small variance in the between the aging of the accounts receivable and the trial balance. And it's been mainly consistent, but we made a one-time adjustment to the bottom line to get the accounts receivable balance at December 31st to match up to the El Dorado aging because we knew the aging was correct and working. Going forward, that was one of the best practices I proposed to Amanda, was each month when she does a month-end close to take that AR aging schedule and match it up to the trial balance. In January, when she goes back, if there's a variance between our adjusted figure at 12/31 and January 31st, you know that there's an error within the month of January. Whereas with the old NEMRIC system, that error could have been back in 23 or 22 and nearly impossible to find. So the only way to correct it is with a journal entry that wasn't considered material. And then going forward, we just want to make sure on a monthly basis those two schedules align. Overall, though, I think the best part about the Jacksonville audit this year, and there was some improvement last year, but the overall collections of the purchase power sales was an incredible improvement year over year. Last year, we were able to reduce the allowance by $15,000. We left the allowance at $15,000 for the December 31st, 2015 audit. And I think, honestly, we probably could have reduced it. However, you don't want to go too low and then have to take a big hit with an allowance adjustment in a future year. Obviously, this is a non-cash, and we're not saying this isn't going to be collected. But historically, Jacksonville's really written off every December between $1,000 and $3,000. So $15,000, while it's not reflective of your actual annual write-offs, it does give coverage to some potential bad debts. I think James had noted when Amanda came on board, she really worked hard at collecting past due balances and keeping up on customers. Just in 22 and 23 especially, and really since the COVID moratoriums in 2020, honestly, that is one area of Jacksonville where cash flows probably sharply declined because of the collections were so high. The lack of collections were so high. So over time, I think we'll continue to see that accounts receivable balance decline and be more reflective of maybe like a month and a half of billings. Again, like I had mentioned, that we made a one-time adjustment to accounts receivable. We did go through a lot of the other trial balance sheet accounts and adjust those to actual. So that while there's a high volume of journal entries, a lot of them we would consider as auditors as immaterial. Things that now that there's an accounting system in place, we know it's working appropriately. And with James and Amanda wanting to take on these best practices, we made a lot of small adjustments just to get the assets and liability accounts adjusted to actual so that they're clearing on a monthly basis as things are paid or prepaids are recognized into expense. Lastly, I just wanted to cover a few things we noted during the audit. We don't do a review or an audit of the internal controls in place. However, we do a walkthrough and form an understanding of the controls. And the reason I want to note this is really it's Jacksonville outside of the board is a two-person office. So there's not that much of a separation of duties, nor is there an opportunity to have a real strong separation of duties. Also during the audit, because of the small size of Jacksonville, we end up testing a lot more transactions than we do in a typical audit. And during our testing, we didn't notice anything that was unusual or out of place during the testing. As far as check disbursement procedures in place, the trustees approve all the warrants that include all of the transactions coming out of the checking account. And there is segregation in the office where only John is signing the checks as the trustee, the main trustee. Amanda is printing the checks based on the warrant that's prepared by James and then approved by the trustees. Amanda's preparing the cash reconciliations that are then reviewed by James. And only James has the ability to make ACH payments once they're approved via warrant. So I do think that all of the transactions coming out of the cash account are being looked at by multiple individuals, as well as everything's being looked at and approved on the warrants on a monthly basis. Accounts receivable, cash collections are a risk. However, I think your biggest deterrent to having a cash issue with customer payments is that it's got to be reflected on the bill. And if that cash customer comes in and pays and it's not they're going to notice that it's not reflected on their bill. And that's going to be an issue that somebody in the office would be able to identify pretty quickly. We also, as far as like risks, cyber is a huge risk, not even via email and clicking on a link where somebody can hack into your systems, which obviously is a risk that we all should be aware of. But just the banking activity, the banks, a lot of them do a very good job of catching washed checks and things of that nature, fraudulent payments that are trying to be wired out of the account by a third party that's completely unknown to Jacksonville. Amanda does go through the online banking activity on a daily basis, making sure that the checks that are cut are the payments that are clearing out of the Jacksonville account are legitimate. And the reason we always ask that question is a lot of bank fraud, if you don't catch it within 1 or 2 days, the money's gone and the bank really doesn't have the ability to reimburse you. And insurance companies are less willing to reimburse you too. So the quicker you identify something clearing out of your account, the better. And the more likelihood there is of getting that money back. So I always want to kind of touch on that and make sure the client is doing those daily activity checks as well. Overall for the audit though, that's all I've got, and I'd like to open it up to questions or concerns that anyone may have.
That was a very excellent overview of Jacksonville's operations. You had said something about, oh boy, it's gonna slip my mind. Yeah. So you mentioned that cash entries are difficult, and it sounded like you pointed that out to Amanda and James, but what I didn't catch is, has it been addressed properly? It sounded like you said they were addressing it properly, then it sounded like you advised them to address it properly. And
cash entries as far as when I was talking about accounts receivable, or
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was something that was addressed with the switch to Eldorado in December 2024. But we left the variance alone in that year and said, let's monitor it and see if the variance changes. Something happened within the billing system in September that kind of got thrown off. I think it was one specific net metering account where the individual was due a large credit. And that threw off some of the variances that were running for a bit, where they were all of a sudden different. That account now seems to be working appropriately. And that's why we thought it was time to just correct the aging at 12/31. We don't want to adjust it now. But I think going forward, if it's corrected at 12/31, go back and look at January, look at March, and look at January, February, and March. While those periods are closed out, find any errors within the GL, the trial balance to the AR aging, correct those. Going forward, it should be a part of the monthly reconciliation process, making sure that your AR aging ties to your trial balance.
Got it. Thank you.
So while it was something that was addressed in a prior year, I think now we have the ability to make sure that matches going forward.
Well,
Were you able to monitor how many transactions, like, when we were able to allow credit and debit card payments? Could you see cash flow amounts or cash payments decrease?
Well, while I don't look at specific what customer is paying with a credit card, I think with any entity allowing credit card payments certainly is a big reason of what speeds up collections. I mean, a customer could be running up their credit card and not paying it, but at least the utilities being paid is one negative way to look at it. I mean, sales are one thing, and increases in sales are great, but if you're not collecting it, what's the point? But no, as far as a statistic of what customers started paying with credit cards at that point, I am not sure. James would probably be able to shed some more light on that.
It's about $15,000 a month. That's credit cards / ACH.
Okay.
We can get the breakout a little bit better for you if you want it. It's an interesting.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pick up a new thing to do, and then, being able to pay online and et cetera, and knowing whether it works. But
yeah, I'll bring
good.
a kind of report next meeting.
Yeah, that'd be cool
for that, or send it out to you guys. And I think that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was a good thing for Jacksonville to get on board with. Not necessarily to do with age or motivation. Pam and Joe ran the office for years, and I think if a credit card, just having worked with them, having a credit card process in place probably wouldn't have been as exciting. But us younger people like James and I hear credit cards like, yes, let's do it. So that definitely helps.
3%.
It's
Or 2.75.
yeah, it's if you do ACH like a bank check, it's $1.95, $1.95.
Yeah, but for a
Flat
credit
fee,
card,
but for a credit card it's 3.95. It's pretty high.
wow,
Yeah, it's pretty high.
wow.
It's not us. We don't. It never comes to us.
Yeah.
It's taken off at the transaction level. But we have a lot of people who don't pay by credit card because of that. A lot of people just pay the ACH. Like that's all I pay. But $2 isn't too bad for most people to pay $2 to not have to come to the office and do 73 cents of postage and to be done with it.
Yeah, as long as Jacksonville is not covering that cost, there's no cost to Jacksonville. It's just speedier payments coming in.
And we voiced our concern about that percentage to the company, Eldorado, and they have expressed that they're concerned about it as well, and they're looking into other companies to do the transactions. But
That's about the same rate as what our software system does. Yep.
They said that the reality is that's what they're getting. That's what we would be getting charged if we had an American Express on every transaction.
Yeah, it's roughly
About right
3%.
yeah, it's about 3%.
So this will be finalized when?
So
Right.
my goal is to have everything finalized as early as possible in May. I head off. Thankfully for me, tomorrow is tax day. I haven't filed my own taxes yet, so I'm not sure I'm so thankful, but yeah, I'm on vacation for a week, back the last week of April, and I will be touching base with James to start finalizing the audit between then and the first week of May. He's gonna make all of these adjustments and get VEPSA working on the 2026 case rate. They are able to start that process with a draft and a good trial balance. Like I said, I don't expect anything to change, so they should be able to get well underway. And it wouldn't be done by the time, I can't imagine it'll be done by the first week of May. So we'll definitely be filed and finalized timely and be able to allow them to do their thing.
And then just, so you guys are all aware, this resolution, I included it in your packets, but this will be next meeting. We'll sign this affirming the audit. As I said, I haven't even fully read through it. So I just wanted you to see what's coming, and then you have a month to read the audit and go from there.
So. Questions? I think you did a great job summarizing that.
Thank you. I'm used
Yeah,
to
I'm
it.
glad we had you do that. That was awesome even for me to
That makes
hear.
a
Yeah.
huge difference
yeah.
than to
No,
just
absolutely.
receive this.
I'm here every year for it. So, I mean, there's many clients that have me come in annually. So definitely happy to do it. It's part of our service. And James and I kind of touch base throughout the year. He'll definitely, he's good about asking questions as they come up. I talked to him probably at least 5 to 10 times last year. So it goes the same way for all the trustees too. If you ever have a question, either have him get in touch with me, or you feel free to get in touch with me yourselves.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Is everyone good?
Good.
Awesome.
Yep,
Hey, bud,
we're
how's it
there.
going? Good to see you.
Long time.
It has been at
Yeah.
least a year now. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
You too.
Thank you
Bye,
very
later.
much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yep. Bye.
Public comments? Unless anyone has discussion. Any public comments? No public comments?
I think Bud had a comment he wanted to talk about.
Like, Jeff here is a resident of the village. So whatever I got to say, you don't have, you can't take any action on it. And, I got a little understanding that we're having a little problem between James and Mrs. Pike. And I was wondering how we were gonna handle that, but I come up with the idea perhaps if we get a media and like you have a strike one, we get two, James and Amanda, two outside people that are qualified, and have them sit down to what their job descriptions are. They seem to be kind of a hit and miss, or just what their job descriptions are. See if we can work it out, something like that. I don't know whether that would, without stepping on too many toes. I know that I just sorted it out to the table. You can kick it around and thrash it around. And then another thing, I think I was looking at this book a while ago and it says on page 7 that people in the village are liable for this debt we've got. And I think before we spend a lot more money, we kind of see if we can't hold down our spending and get some of that taken care of. It's on page 7, I think it is. I was reading it earlier. Partway down the first column, I think. Yeah.
Assets and liabilities.
No, it's up the top. Is it? You want to
The
say something?
Village of Jacksonville elects the Board of Commissioners of the company, and the Village of Jacksonville is liable for the debt of the company.
People in the village are liable for the debt. I think we ought to see if we can't get that narrowed down a little bit. There's quite a few different programs coming down the line. Somebody has got the okay from public service and the federal to put in 2 solar panels and put a little switch on the wall. You just plug a drop cord in, plug them right into your outlet. They got that swung by it, and they don't have to meet any qualifications. And James has mentioned something about a plug-in for electric cars. I don't think we want it, James. I tell you why. We pay town taxes. Town won't money for the library. The library has got assigned compliments of the library on their plug-in, and I've never seen a car there. And Amy's got one down here, and they've had one plug-in, one of the core. Also, on television the other night, it showed as much as an acre of humongous battery storages. Oh, I mean, a whole acre. It looked like on what I could see on TV, and that's for backup power. And the neighbors are a little concerned about that with fires. Right after them 4 buses burned up to Winooski. $1 million junk pile.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think, if we just kind of see what we can do with our spending. And still maintain our line. Our line is in pretty good shape right now. Done a good job. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, bud.
Yeah, it's about
Yep.
the only thing I got, I just was to work out with something, you and Amanda, and we'll get somebody to, maybe Ron will be up here next week and see what his input is on it, Get who does what and when, and however, right now, I guess it's, you put it in the spec mixer, don't you?
Well, we're starting to iron out some job
Yeah.
descriptions.
Huh?
We're starting to iron out some job descriptions.
Job descriptions. We were working on it.
Yeah. No.
Raining?
Yeah, we're in a thunderstorm warning, so better hope we don't lose power.
Yeah, because you were gonna say we'll have a generator. We don't want a generator.
Huh?
If he was saying with all the electrical storms that are coming up tonight, that we lose power, we ought to just turn on our generator, but we don't have a generator.
Oh.
We don't.
No, I was saying if we lose power tonight, I gotta go work. That's why I don't want to lose power.
I gotta Dana's flying out to Wisconsin tomorrow.
Who up, Dana?
Dana his wife.
Oh, really? For what?
He has a son out there, a family out there.
Oh,
On the upper side of Lake Michigan. Did you see TV at noon today?
yeah.
You get the hail.
They got the hail, yeah.
Hail and tornadoes and everything.
Wow.
I think he flies into Milwaukee.
There you go.
Wow.
That's fun.
We have the minutes for March 10,
We do not. I emailed you the
the special.
special, and the other ones are half done, but not ready.
So we'll just do it next week, or next
Yeah.
week. Next month, we'll just do it as a do them all.
This one I looked out before.
I did send her a reply. I
Oh,
think
you did. Oh,
the special minutes look pretty good.
we can pass those around. Oh, no, I don't have them.
I think
I can email them out if you want to.
we have to make a motion to table them, so
Yeah. We have to make a motion to table minutes till next meeting. Probably wouldn't hurt to do that.
I'll make the motion to table the March 10th and the March 12th special meeting minutes until our next scheduled meeting. Someone second that?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the March 10th and March 12th minutes have been tabled until our next scheduled meeting. Financial report,
All right. We'll open this up too. Maybe. All right, financial report. As of April 1st, 2026, we have $42,098.23 in our operating checking account. We received $160,438.68 in revenue and $44.89 in interest, while paying out $165,158.65 in checks and ACH payments. Our money market account has a balance of $51,696.80. $1,000 was transferred in for tree trimming on the 13th of March, and $2,500 was transferred in for property taxes on the 11th of March. We received $80.03 in interest and $886.83 in payments from our quarterly Transco payment, which is our ownership dividends from Belco. Our current operating checking balance is $91,390.91. We have $40 in outstanding checks, and a money market balance is $54,471.80, with $36,471.80 unallocated. Our current debt, as our current balance of our truck loan is $58,335.25, and the VEPSA loan at $607,093, which is an interest deferment until July 1st. Statement of receivables. In January, we received $17,048.28, less than what we billed out. On March 18th, we had a delay in billing, just so you're aware. Usually we bill on the 16th. We didn't have the automatic payments. The auto pays come in on the 15th, supposed to come in on the 15th, but they did not because El Dorado had an issue. They came in on the 18th. They billed the customers correctly, but they never came into our accounts. So we had to bill on the 18th, which was a little later than we normally do. We billed $143,074.60 in electric bills, which is a little lower than what we've been billing for the last 2 months, obviously in the winter. This is $18,251.23 than the monthly budget that we expected. So far this month, we've collected $108,700 $692.88 with bills due tomorrow.
100 and who?
$108,692.88. And honestly, that number was done at like 8 o'clock this morning. We received about 13,000 today. So that is even higher than that. For receivables, we have $14,907.06 in 30-day plus receivables. That number also has gone down today by about 600. How low it is right now.
That is insane.
That's good. So Sawyer Bent, I'm not supposed to take it. Customers' names. We have a customer who was very high that is now down to about $8,000 that they owe us. And our downtown business that closed, that sold baked goods, is fully paid off. And the other downtown business, that's a store, is also paid off.
Thanks.
In full, in all accounts on that one.
Wow.
No bounce checks. So huge, that's actually lower. It's about $600 lower because
6,000.
what?
6,000. You said it was 20,000 in the notes.
Yeah, oh yeah, this went down today, yeah.
14, so that's 6,000.
Yeah, and then another 600 today since I did the 14,900 was paid on the third one that I was telling you about, paid off the full balance. So that number's continuing to go down. Yeah.
So, you said that, this is $18,251.23 less than the monthly budget.
Yeah.
So can you sort of,
Yeah, so I thought this essentially, this is how I come up with our budget based off of what we received last year and when we received it. Well, actually, it's really what we billed last year. And so I come up with, this is what we had for last year's number was 135,000 based on a few different things that we calculate. We come up with what we expect. And so you can see they're just a little shy. It's really hard the first 3 months of the year because they're such big numbers. Those numbers tend to be low and then they balance out through the rest of the months. That's just something that it's just a calculation that I don't know the system well enough to correct it yet. But over the years, in 5 years, I'll probably be able to predict that a little bit better.
So the budget is really based on, let's go back up to December, right up to that.
Yeah.
So that 109,000 is what we got in FY 2005,
This one's actually FY 24,
24, okay,
and then December 25 is here.
okay. So the rate case is what jumps it up, is that right?
Yeah, so I use yes, the rate case is what I use purely because we can't really estimate
So you
how
put
much
in like 12%,
I do it
add 12%.
exactly. So we had 25 that's still I'm sorry, the 12.479 is still lingering because that's what we're collecting on right now until August, I believe, or September, I think is when we did it. And then I put in, I think, another 12% increase. We don't know what that increase is going to be starting on July 1st because we know that there's going to be another rate.
So that's how the budget numbers are arrived at.
Correct. And then I use that budget number to make my expense budget.
Yep.
So essentially I take that and say, this is what we have for income.
Yep.
Now we got to make our expenses match.
So if we sell less electricity than we think, it's going to affect
The bottom budget.
Yeah.
So as you can see, like we were over the first month.
right.
January, we were actually over our plan, our budget number. We were expecting to get 142,000. We actually billed out 162. This was a cold December this year.
Yeah.
And so we got a little bit more, and then we got a little less in January and a little less in February and a little less in March. I think this is actually going to be a little low. I think we're at 140 something, if I'm not mistaken, this month. If my pre-bill, if I saw the pre-bill right, so we're close there. So yeah, we kind of just go through and do that. Yeah, so our 3 high months are those. You can see it starts going up in October. We start seeing a little bit of an increase, but really the big ones are the first 3 months.
Okay.
Thank you.
So at what point do you take a look at it and say,
We're not going to hit it.
yeah,
So
when do you say we're in trouble, we gotta do something?
yep. So we did that last year. Last year I built my budget based off of what we collected for income.
Yeah.
Not what we billed.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is we're collecting aged receivables.
Right.
And so I was overinflating what we were going to make. And so I had to go back and correct it. I think in July we went back and
Yes.
correct. Usually I give a
Right.
6-month review
Yeah.
budget. And so because it's really hard for us to adjust right now, because we may come in and have a rate increase of 14% instead of 12%, but I had planned for 12%. So is it, to make an adjustment
Sure.
now wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. We're sitting at 14,000 less than budget. We're not that far off. So this is just the totals. This is total. This is what we have to make up the rest of the plan.
Yeah.
And then this is total to date. So just to read those. So that's where we're at there. And then on this side, so this is bills and this is cash. So essentially the budget is the same, right? We expect to receive all the cash or all the bills that we paid out in cash. And so you can see my cash line over here, but we don't quite receive all the cash that we bill out in any given month. We know that there's a delay in everybody's payment. Everybody kind of knows they can go an extra 30 days without paying us before we hit them with a interest charge. So there's a little bit of delay there. Usually we receive like next week we'll receive a bunch of payments. Probably $30,000 worth of payments will come in next week because everybody pays. Yeah, everybody pays it on the 15th, but it actually doesn't get received here until after the 15th.
Have to make a trip back down.
Everybody else does it. Any other questions, comments, concerns? It is pretty, Amanda and I are we're baffled by where we're sitting with payments. And she's got a really good process of calling customers, saying, hey, you have a payment that's due. You're going to be late tomorrow and we're going to bill you an interest charge. And she was doing that today and it works out really well. She's got a good pattern and good rhythm going.
So is that where you get credit cards over the phone right then and
You
there?
can't do credit cards over the phone. We could. We potentially could do credit cards over the phone. As a best practice, we have not. Because if you do, you're taking their credit card information. It just becomes a risk when they can do it online. So typically, we've never had anybody. We have a lot of people who ask, can you take my credit card or can I come in and take the credit card? I don't know if we've ever had anybody who
We don't have
was
a
upset.
POS.
We don't have one that ties to El Dorado.
Oh,
And that makes it more, because then you have two different you have different percentages and you have
Yes, you
different,
do.
it just becomes.
yes, that's exactly what we have
Yes, yeah.
happening. Yeah.
So I'm trying to avoid it.
Okay.
We can do it if that was something we wanted to do.
It's,
But kind of best practice, we haven't done that to date.
you're gonna know, like by
Yeah.
the amount of requests.
Right. We're over a year into El Dorado at this point, into credit card processing. And we've never really had anybody super upset about it. Most people, we tell them they have an online portal and they're like, oh, you do? That's usually, and they are happy to do it that way.
Yeah.
They just think they have to come in and they can't come in. That's traditionally what we've.
Well, kudos for getting it down to 14,000 and a few $100.
Feels good, doesn't it?
That's some budget stuff.
Compared to like what 200,000.
If it stayed lingering at 20,000 with the 30,000, that would have been like, except, I don't know, that's just.
I mean, the reality is we have another 8,000 accounted for.
Right, that's.
That
even,
will go
like,
lower, 8,000. Then I think we're pretty much where we're gonna be.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we still have a couple outstanding that.
Yeah.
Like we're never gonna
yeah.
get paid for some of them.
Yeah,
That are in that number.
okay. But they'll become write-offs.
They'll come right up.
Maybe.
We had one just to kind of, I know we time wise, but there was a foreclosure that we disconnected over on Kentfield Road. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. They called the person buying it in the foreclosure proceeding, called us and said we need the power hooked up, and we said just so you know, there's a lien on the property this month. This happened, and he said, "Oh, really?" And he told his attorney at the closing, they paused the closing for us to send the lien information, and we got a check in the mail from that. It's pretty amazing. I mean, because we got sued for that to get it off the record, and we still got paid out. It was pretty amazing. The liens work. Liens very much work.
And
Pretty cool.
they cost what when you go to the town clerk?
It's $15 to file one and $15 to release it. So we charge the customer when we put it on $30, and that pays for the release, the perks putting it on and the release.
So it doesn't really cost us.
It doesn't cost us anything except for my time to drive down there and file.
You and sign payables.
Yeah, so payables, so overall we have purchase power. This is the big one, $97,992.45. That's what our power cost was this month. Everything else was $34,194.09 on the payables. Which makes a total of $147,809.90 plus the ones that we've already issued payment for.
That's not in
I
here.
don't see it.
No, so that because what happens, so we have this number, but we've already paid some of these. So if you look at the dates, anything before the 15th,
Oh, we don't have the second page. That's
you don't have the second page.
no.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yours was a direct.
It says
copy,
page
so it must
1
be-
of 3. And 2 of
Yours
3.
is different. Yours is different, John.
I have 3 of 3.
Yeah, but John, yours is different because yours is the pre-packet. There's
Okay.
I'll pass these around for sure. I'll pass this around. This is the sign-in sheet. Anyway. I don't know why yours didn't scan. Quickly go through some, so essentially this whole first. So check date. There's some before this meeting. So like that was the 12th. There was a payment.
Okay.
And you can see some of them down below, the ACH ones. Like we pay DV Fiber on the 1st. We pay MVP on the 1st. We pay Delta Dental on the 1st. So you're approving some of the payments that have already occurred. So this total that I gave you of 34 of the $147,809.90 is what's outstanding, what's left.
Oh,
So that's purchase power. This is everything else, and that's the total. I'll just quickly go through some of these. We have DigSafe is a new one. DigSafe apparently has been trying to send us a bill through clerk at jacksonvilleelectric.net and hasn't gotten to us. Apparently they charge $1 for every dig safe we put in. And they also just updated all of our mapping with our new GIS software. So that's $215 that we owed them. So that's on here. Creative Technologies is the mailing. Green Mountain Power. We had 2 issues on Green Mountain Power. I'm not going to remember what they are. One was Route 100
It says Pratt.
and Pratt Road, and Town Hill was a voltage issue that you guys are aware of. Town Hill was a tree branch that came down early in the morning. I can't remember what the other Route 100 one was, but anyway, those were outage trouble issues. Greg Brown digger truck, Haverlux, our monthly payments, our audit, legal services for our rate case. You can see our lien charges that we have in there. Elijah Allen, JG Store, Tomasi removal. So if that was $45 that we'd have to pay. Electric bill. W&W, we had to buy some cable clamps for the AMI project. So you can see those $76 there. Multi-dental, DB Fiber. DB Fiber, we did not have the March one on last month, so you can see there's 2 there. Amazon, we got a notebook, essentially just notebooks for $16. It was like a 6-pack. FMBO, which is our credit card. We have the Adobe charges. We have Adobe's software for Amanda's computer. UMA, which is our telephone, reception 24/7. And then we had Home Depot for AMI. We had to buy a bunch of stuff for the AMI bolts and things that didn't come with the DCUs, which totaled $421.01. Some of that has been returned. So next month you'll see a credit for some of that. And then Home Depot, Amanda wasn't liking the taste of the water that I was pulling from my house. So I got a water bottle for $8.98 to see if that was any better. But I'm not sure if it is. So that's where I'm at. Vepsa, Lakeview, landscaping, everything else is pretty much the same. The one thing I'd like to add, if you guys are okay, is we never received an El Dorado bill last month. I just received this today. This is for last month's mailing. They had sent it as we were late, but they never sent it to us last month. So I'd like to add that manually if I can write it on this, if you guys are okay with that. It's $698.82. Right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the payables. Sign warrant.
Will someone second that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody?
Okay. Payables are approved.
I feel like I was gonna ask a question. So, do we have a list of how many liens we have for the 10th? Oh, sorry.
I could get one. I don't have
Currently.
me. I might, but I can put one together. They want to be bad to have. You want a copy just to see what you have outstanding? Is that
No,
or just a total amount?
yeah, like just like the number of liens. I guess I was just curious because now you got it in front of my face.
I would guess we have about 10. If I were to just
Really?
off the top of my head, I'd say it's about that number. Is that
Yeah, wow.
it's more than you thought?
Yeah.
Our philosophy is if a house goes for sale and they owe us money, we're putting a lien on
Oh, yeah.
it. And then if somebody's habitually late all the time, we put a lien on it just because it's
So,
If they own the house, if it's a tenant, we can't really do that. We could, but we don't.
Payroll?
Payroll. So payroll's a little different this month. I just was in there editing it anyway, so I figured I'd add it. I added a year-to-date column just so you can see what year-to-date looks like for each employee. And what what the total is. I had it in there, so I figured I'd add it for you guys. And then the other thing that we are doing, we'll talk about it a little later, is the trustee pay. So I think I have. We'll talk about it a little later, but that's the trustee pay that you'll be approving. And we'll pay it once we have the forms to issue that payment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenny.
Are you going to try another, go for another rate increase?
We have to pay that for that note we have with VEPSA, the 607,000.
Yeah,
That I think we'll be in pretty good shape after that.
another thing I forgot. Before most you came on, federal government supposed to give a lot of money for updating your utilities, all of them in the state. And I haven't heard anything on that. That was quite a few years ago. So, have you heard anything on it?
The grid, yeah.
I would say maybe the grid grant. We have a grant that is for what was it, 369,000, and then we have a match that we have to put together. It was kind of phrased as for improving resiliency is how they phrased it. But
I was thinking they were talking a little over 300 for us.
yeah, so that's probably what it is.
That's what it was, because I haven't heard a word on it. It was before these folks came on, quite a few years ago.
So we did, we got it. We have it. We're in the process of getting the RFPs out. Rod and I were trying to get it so they would pay for an upgrade of a line.
Yeah.
And as we worked through the process, the state and federal government said, don't do that. They want it to be tree trimming.
Tree trimming?
Yeah. So we're doing tree trimming. We're going to be able to do, I want to say it's, without quoting me, about 32 miles of tree trimming of the 42 miles that we have.
Okay.
So it's a big number that we'll be able to get done. So that the problem right now we're having is that we're trying to count my time for putting the RFP together that we send out as part of our match. And the government needs to approve that before I can start the RFP. So we're in kind of a holding pattern right now, waiting for that approval. Because that's a big amount of time. RFP is not a short amount of time. So we're hoping that'll come through. But I'm hoping to start tree trimming on that project maybe by the end of the year-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did receive it. I think we're the first one. We're the first municipal in the state of Vermont to actually get approved by the federal government on it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yep. So, the only thing I would note on the payroll, it was a 5-week month instead of a 4-week month, so it's a little higher than what we've been seeing every month because of that. And Rod comes back next week, so just have to throw it out there.
Is there any discussion on?
I'll make a motion that we approve the payroll warrant.
Someone second that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The payroll has been accepted.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, that's the updated pack. I accidentally printed an extra one, so feel free. There's nothing changed at this point. That's just the financials that were
Oh,
different.
sworn I had, when I went through all that mounds of paper, that there was some kind of like a W-2 form.
It's further in the packet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I thought it was right after the payroll.
You all set with the
Yep,
manager's report? So 2025 rate case, I don't think you've heard this yet. The Department of Public Service has recommended to the Public Utility Commission to grant us our full asking amount of 12.479 for the rate increase. Our attorney submitted a request for the Public Utility Commission to issue an immediate ruling. Their immediate rulings tend to be 3 or 4 months, so that will hopefully come soon. But the nice thing is that's essentially saying yes, that rate's approved at that point. It's very unusual that they would go against it. We actually got a compliment on our rate case that was submitted, saying that it was really, really well done for this particular one, which was great. It was actually done by the outside vendor that VEPSA hired, and she's actually doing our rate case this time as well. So that was pretty cool to hear. That it was very tight. It was very there was nothing really to argue about. It was very clean. So that was good to hear. Our 2026 rate case has we're waiting essentially for the approval of the audits. We don't really need the approval, but we needed what we got today to move forward. So I'm going to forward that tomorrow to the rate case. We're hoping to file by mid-May, which will allow for a July 1st start date, 45 days later. So that is going well. Everything's in there. Again, nothing earth shattering right now about the numbers. It's sounding like a very similar number to what we just filed.
Oh, that's gonna be my question.
Yeah. But obviously all the numbers aren't in. There's a few things that went down, a few things that went up. But it's sounding very similar to that number, the 12 and a half ish. But we'll see as it all plays out. AMI, our DCUs are installed. We had one customer who expressed concern about the DCU and what it was being used for, and they thought that we would know what they were watching on their TV, honestly. But Amanda was able to talk to them, explain what they were, how they were being used, and they're fine now. They were all good. Fiber, I believe there's either one or there were 2 DCUs as of when I talked to them this afternoon that were left to be installed for the fiber. I'm not sure if they finished both of them or not, but we're going to try to wrap up today or first thing tomorrow morning. With the fiber being installed, will be added to the list for DCU commissioning, which actually involves the manufacturer coming to our town and going around to each of the DCU locations, plugging everything, powering it up, and testing it. So I'm hoping that that will happen by the end of April, beginning of May. Our residential meters have been delivered. You can see the boxes of them out there if you're interested. If you want to see what they look like, you guys, I think most of you already looked at them. That's what they look like. There's 750 of them that we ordered. I think we need a few more residentials. And then our commercial, our one-off accounts, we have about 15 one-off accounts that we need to, we know what we need to order. We just need to order them. We cannot start installing meters until the software is online and the DCUs are online. Software is going to be the holdup for us. Orleans is the first one to go with the software, then Barton, and then us. Software, my understanding is all of the code has been written. We're just waiting on them to deploy, which is an issue with payment and when it gets deployed and beyond my conversation level. But we'll be told when we're good to go. Tree trimming. You may have noticed Gates Pond Road has begun tree trimming. Bernard Road is not officially done yet. There are a few things that we need to work with Trevor on, but that's being done. He's telling me that his entire crew will be here next week to kind of start really working on it. So right as of now, he just kind of spends one-off time here. So being really interesting once his crew gets here next week to see what happens. 2026 audit went well. We're hoping to get the audit not approved tonight, but approved next meeting. Battery storage, no update on that. Grid grant, the DOE has approved our grant. There's some back and forth whether the RFP process can count in the contribution, like I said. Until we know that, we're on hold. Even if we can't get it, it's not a huge deal, but it would be nice. GMP metering point. This may be a little bit of a longer conversation. So GMP claims that they do not have enough time to obtain the permits for primary metering points, like we discussed last meeting. So they're asking to essentially use our poles as carrier poles. So we would be on the pole and they would install new poles that would allow it so they could go above our line. I've worked a lot with Rod on this and what we can do. So it would be through our territory. GMP would run their lines through our territory. This is on Cyrus Road and Burrington Hill Road, just so we're kind of clear where. So I think we're talking about 8 poles. They would come through. There are 3 of them that would be brand new poles in our territory, and 5 of them would be replacements of poles that already exist. They would upgrade our poles and lines in the process. So they would come through, replace our lines, replace our poles, put new transformers up in those 5 poles that already exist as part of the process, and probably put 50-footer poles in so there's enough room for them to go on top. I kind of directly asked them what would the value be for Jacksonville, like what are you offering us? They pretty much just sold us the poles and lines and transformers for the upgrade, which I didn't really think that was much value for what they were doing. But I had a meeting with VEPSA yesterday and we got a little bit more clarification. We have a little bit more of a motion to, or an offer that we would be willing to put forward. But obviously I need your approval to do that. And I also need your approval to give me the ability to negotiate, or someone else the ability to negotiate.
Who gets taxed on those dump?
We would be. Especially because they're outside our village. So we would be paying taxes.
Seems like they could contribute at
The only-
least that.
The only thing I would say is the current structure for how taxes are calculated is based on kilowatts delivered and revenue made. It has nothing to do with how many polls you have anymore. I don't know if that's going to change, but that's currently how they're doing it. That changed last year. Again, I don't know if that's going to change. I don't know if you're hearing anything.
I wouldn't suspect if that's the way they're doing it, I wouldn't suspect that that would change because that was a multi-year process to get that in line.
And it severely benefited us. We cut our taxes 20 grand because of the way they did it.
So if you're saying that, then we're not being taxed on the polls.
Correct. So that's why I was bringing it up.
Yeah.
Technically, the polls aren't being taxed.
Okay.
And we're still delivering the same number of kilowatts and the same number of customers who are paying the same amount of money.
So none of the kilowatts that goes through their lines are
Being recorded to us. Yeah, because they're not delivering. They're not actually distributing to a customer. They're just carrying over.
go ahead.
What does don't have time to get permits mean?
So if you wanted to do primary metering, you're going to have to make an application to the Department of Public Service and the Public Utility Commission, and they're going to open an investigation and determine whether or not primary metering is going to be allowed. There's no reason it wouldn't be allowed. Ken Nolan seems to think that it's not going to take 2 years, is how we phrase that. That's the conservative number, is it takes about 2 years. The one thing I will say is Green Mountain Power runs out of money, is my understanding, as of September for this project, 2026 September. So they are running out of time. There is a time concern, and they probably couldn't get primary metering potentially up and running before then. I think if they really wanted to try, they could tell the Public Utility Commission, you need to do this really quickly so that it can get in and done. And it's going to benefit customers from an outage perspective, so do it. But I do have some other ideas, but I want to go into executive session too.
I was just gonna
So I put a motion in here
say that in a little handwritten note.
to say what you may or may not want to put into executive session. And I would encourage you to, if you wanted to, include Bud. I think there's a knowledge there that might be beneficial.
What do you want? Is your preference?
Yeah.
Okay. It felt like we were getting into a place where we didn't
Yeah.
sort of go there anyway.
Are they going to it? He going in the executive?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
But
we're
we're
gonna
gonna-
invite you.
Yeah, we're inviting you.
We're gonna invite you.
you're gonna invite me?
Yes,
Oh,
Because
I'm
you're-
gonna leave you.
Is that because it's?
because you're smart. You're smart.
Oh,
Institutional knowledge. here.
oh.
You can go ahead.
All right, I move that premature public knowledge on this contract would clearly place the public body at substantial disadvantage. Once that is agreed upon, I move to enter executive session in accordance with 1 VSA 313(1)(a) to discuss the contract to include James Weber, General Manager. Ken Nolan is in here, and Bud Venus. Someone have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Don't say anything.
yep, need to stop the recording.
Stop recording.
That line.
It looks a lot better.
Yeah,
They did a nice job with it.
I started from the lights and went to the rest of the
Yeah.
streets.
All right, we are back recording. So I'll just continue with my manager's report. The DPS utility assessment, it really went really well. They actually did it in person. Someone from the DPS was here. Ken Nolan came down. I was here, and Amanda kind of jumped between customers in here. And they were really impressed with how well we operate and what we have for the size of our utility and the amount of customers we have. He was blown away, really. He saw our shop. He saw how well we take care of our equipment. He really liked the idea of having part-time linemen. He's like, I never even would have thought of that. And he was, I mean, it was a really, really good conversation. He has since done a few follow-ups with me about other utilities because he thought how well we were running. So it felt good. It felt like good feedback altogether. We've started submitting some documents. There's really not much that they're looking for. It's really just audited financials and kind of the different things that that you need to submit. We talked to them about, we were upfront about the VEPSA money that we owe them, and they didn't seem concerned about that at all. They said that kind of is just what happens with the way the rate case schedule is currently set up, which is realistic. The one thing that they really are pushing for, and we were a great example of driving that home, was they want us to have cash on hand. They want us to have 3 to 6 months of cash on hand. And I expressed concern about how that's going to happen, because obviously, the only way you can really do that is by raising rates to get it. And I'm not sure that is great either. And they did take note of that. I said, how long, if we could do that over a 12-year period, maybe. But, if you're doing much shorter than that, you're going to feel it in rates in the meantime. I will say they did express that they were happy with. They said we were in a very good cash on hand position as a percentage compared to most of the utilities in the state of Vermont, which baffled me. But that just goes to show you how many people are struggling cash wise right now.
Yeah.
It's not just us. Cash flow is a big problem. So anyway, that's the update for the DPS. It was a very good assessment. I thought it went really well, and I'm really happy with it. Trouble calls this month. Town Hill, we had a primary line that had come off of an insulator and it went below the neutral, which I didn't know was a big issue, but I saw it and I asked the guys. We actually went out and fixed it. I guess that's a pole fire risk, which I didn't know. So they were saying that was a really good catch. So no outage associated with that, but it was a good catch in the meantime. And then we've had multiple dates. We've been working with a particular customer on Pratt Road who has high voltage because of associated with associated with solar. It's currently cost us about $1,600 worth of lineman hours going out there and working on it. Again, it's a solar customer. We're not making a whole lot, but he's very happy with the work we're doing, but we're hoping to get this. We think we have it solved now. We actually switched this phasing to a different phase, which had a lower voltage. But as you recall, this actually was the reason we had to get a new regulator control panel that cost us $2,600 plus installation was because of this too. So it's adding up quickly, but it's hopefully resolved at this point. I haven't heard any complaints as of today. Line extension, we're still waiting on the Merrifield Road. They're still waiting for approval on that one altogether. VEPSA meeting, the auditor was here for the VEPSA meeting. I tried calling in and it did not. I was getting called by the auditor every 2 seconds. I didn't get anything out of the VEPSA meeting. So that's that. And then I included something. It's nothing major, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys. There were some current concerns that were brought up about time being spent in the office. So I just documented over the last month, essentially time that during the hours from 7:30 to 4 that I was not in the office and what I was doing. And then the next page is time that I worked that wasn't during normal business hours. And then personal equipment that I don't charge for, but I use, truck and tractor in particular. I just wanted to outline it because there were some concerns that were expressed. And I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware going forward.
So the out of office time, it's this page here.
The first one,
I'm not gonna count all the times that you use the personal truck to go to the post office or go
Sure.
wherever. Is there a reason why you can't use the little red truck out here?
well, I can use it if Richard's not using it.
Right, but all the days that he's using it is what, 3 days out of the month?
5, yeah.
5 days out of the
Yep.
month, so there's all those other times to use that?
Yep.
I just don't understand why you don't.
I can.
Yeah, I just think.
I don't charge for hours though, or miles though. But I mean, there are certain times I can't go to Keene. I had to go to Keene to go to Home Depot. And that truck, I do not trust going to Keene.
Well, that's what
to
I
be
wondered
honest with
about. Is it a trustworthy vehicle?
They wouldn't go outside Whitingham with it. I go to W&W. That's about as far as I would go. I can't say too much in a public meeting about it.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot.
But
I'm sorry.
I will not go to a PEPSA meeting in that truck. For sure.
I didn't want to interrupt. Laura. Bringing up this multiple dates of going to.
Yeah.
Has reminded me of a question that came through my listserv. I believe that's where it was. Of, do we have, and it's a listserv for assessors and listers, do we have a list of all solar arrays? We as assessors and listers in our office, solar arrays? And is the fire department aware of all of these solar arrays because of a particular fire that had happened at one, and the fire department couldn't find it because it doesn't have a 911 address?
Really?
Yeah,
So the array
I
caught fire.
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I
We
think.
only have 2 that would be a major concern for,
Okay.
but they're probably not.
Okay.
Probably
So,
not. I mean, other
Just
than
wanted
me
to
and
bring that up
Amanda.
because not only
Um,
are you here dealing with solar arrays to some degree, but you're also a firefighter.
I wonder if we could do
or
a training. That's a
First
great idea.
responder.
Yeah,
What are you?
both.
Kind of like everything. It's like,
Maybe we'll do a training at one of them. That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Just let's see where they are.
What's the fire concern?
solar panel caught on fire, and I don't know what town it was. I can't remember, but it brought this lister. It was a question that she threw out there.
It makes sense. They don't have
Do
911
we have
addresses.
do they have 911 addresses? And do towns keep a list? Now, I know that we have, like, if they have over 50K,
Right.
and I have to talk to our assessor about some thoughts, but anyway, if they have over 50K, they're taxed. So the assessor's office will have that one, but solar arrays on top of houses, unless we in our town require a permit for one of those, we don't know. We don't have a list of people having solar arrays on there, out in their fields, less than 50K.
And Whitingham doesn't have a building permit process for it. As long as the state approves it, it's approved.
It's just something to.
It's
throw out
interesting.
there
I mean,
because they do
we
catch on
know.
fire, and if this one's having issues.
Yeah,
it
and this
might
one
be
is a ground mount.
something that could catch on fire.
It's something I've brought up to the fire department too, is training on shut off switches.
Yeah.
Because like my house, I have solar, and I have a battery, and there's separate shut offs for both of them. And then there's the main disconnect for the house. So you have like
Yeah,
You can't just hit one and it shuts off. You have to shut 3 different things off in order to shut off everything. That's just another thing.
in particular with the battery.
Right. Right. The battery can really throw it. It's because it's a lithium.
Yeah.
So. No, good call out.
so
That's all I have for a manager's report.
Hometown Heroes.
Oh, these are out of order. I'm sorry. Hometown Heroes. So I spoke to the select board after our last meeting about covering the installation costs for Hometown Heroes. They did agree to do that. However, the next day, Riggs Disler reached out. I'm assuming Scott talked to me. And they reached out and said they're willing to do this free of charge if we were willing to allow them to do our polls. And I agreed to let them do that. Stuff's still being sent to us because we were initially the ones doing it. So I'm kind of collecting it and getting some names. Just as a heads up on that. That is that. That's all I have on that.
APA.
So the AAP conference, I have registered for the AAPA conference for myself.
One in Boston.
It's the one in Boston, yeah. I had 3 board members who told me I should attend, so I did register for it. If anyone is interested in helping me select the breakout sessions, I can send it to. I know Tyler, you were interested. We'll work on that. The conference sponsored hotels were already booked by the time I registered, which I kind of am not happy about, but they have put me on a wait list for if someone cancels because they have a different rate, cheaper rate for those hotels. So
go ahead. Well, I might as well say it.
Yeah.
There's a government rate that a municipality can take advantage of. Let me get that information.
yeah, let's say send that to me. So I booked another hotel that's it's close. It's a couple blocks away. I'll have to walk over, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. But it is a little bit higher. But I talked to the AAPA people and they said they are trying to renegotiate with other hotels. And they said there's usually also cancellations. So they're hoping we'll be able to squeeze in. And I was one of the first ones on the waiting list. But it's crazy because they're still an early bird registration right now and they're already booked solid. So I'm hoping to get that. Let me just write it. So I did make a reservation that is it's cancelable up until like 3 days before. So I have something if I have to, but I'm hoping to get a cheaper rate. And if I have to, I can also stay on my cousin's couch.
So what?
I said I also could stay on my cousin's couch if I have to. I was going to do that, and then I found out it's a 45-minute train ride to get from there to. He lives on the other side of the river, but apparently they have to go like all the way around.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well that seems a little ridiculous, but.
Article from Efficiency Vermont.
So Efficiency Vermont apparently reached out to Deerfield Valley News about publishing an article that our customers qualify for expanded efficiency rebates this year. This is kind of every year we get expanded rebates for VEPSA customers. It was a good article. I expressed to Efficiency Vermont that I'd like to know if they're working with a news agency in our area, because we had customers who reached out to us about this prior to us even knowing it was being published, because the online version's like a day later. So we were kind of in a little bit of a loss there for a little bit, but we're good now. Article was good. They said Londonderry is the next closest municipality instead of Ludlow. I just don't understand how they can mess
So
up.
you think the correction's been sent to them? So they'll print the correction?
I didn't send them for that little piece because it didn't really affect us that much, but if you want me to.
Did you contact them about the
other one I definitely contacted.
Okay.
The one from Brattleboro Reformer last month, I definitely corrected. I was on the phone all afternoon with the reporter on that one, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but in this, you guys are all mentioned.
Yeah.
by name. So again, I was not part of that article.
I didn't get any calls at home.
No, we got like 2 calls on it before the article was published, and then we haven't heard anything else. Again, they're extra rebates, but they're really small rebate. Like you get an extra $250 if you're income eligible, and it's.
Well, I was income eligible for that unit that he.
Well, you weren't. That was through Sevco, wasn't it? It wasn't through.
No, that was through.
Was Efficiency Vermont? Oh.
So I probably can't get a rebate on something they already paid for.
And it has to be 2026.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the new one. That's this year.
Trustee pay?
So going forward, trustee pay will be paid via payroll. This will slightly increase payroll costs because we're having more employees. I did include this little guy for you to fill out.
so you gotta have it.
I have pay approved by you guys as of today for you guys. So whenever you get that to me,
So it'll
the
be for
following
next
week,
month.
I'll include it on payroll because we do payroll weekly.
So the checks that are. Oh,
The checks are earlier in the packet. That's what the
so you're
amount
gonna
will
sign
be.
them?
Yeah.
I was just.
So it depends on what you do. If you do direct deposit, that'll just go through ACH and
So you
be
need a
done.
routing.
So every employee currently is on direct deposit. So you would be a unique experience, but I do think when we first did this, you had to sign them, right? Do you remember that? They send us the check with a blank signature, and I think you had to sign them. I can't remember, but anyway, I think you did.
Well, these can be changed anytime
Yep.
throughout the year,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And you have them here.
Yes.
We must be paying a low unemployment rate
We don't pay enough.
because we're a
This is around
municipality,
Stephanie.
really.
We do a waiver every quarter. That makes it so we don't have to. We have to pay the child care tax. We have to pay, obviously income tax, the employer share and all that. Pay workers comp through VLCT. But yeah, we don't have to pay the unemployment. And every quarter I freak out because I'm like, did I fill it out?
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah.
It's one of those you don't fill it out every month, so you forget and have a reminder on my computer that comes up. Anyway, that's that.
Sidewalks?
So I know we're trying to save money. This is one area we can save money. So I wanted to ask, last year was about $2,500 to clean sidewalks.
We do it last year or the year before.
Well, last year and the year before. We're actually a little late. Usually I do it last meeting and I forgot. But I just wanted to ask if that was something we're interested. I mean, obviously we're interested in doing it. If that was something, that was a way we could save money that I wanted to bring to the board. And I'm not convinced a whole lot of people will notice / care, but I think there's a lot of people who like that we do it. But again, if we're
Usually-
saving money, we're
Wasn't it, Matt Beatty and
not
his,
his team. Although I will say Joe Saladino has specifically come in here and asked to be part of the bid process if we go out to bid.
Do we
For
have to?
you not have to. We can hire our same. You guys can hire the same. If I wanted to hire somebody for that amount of money, I'd have to do an RFP process, but you guys can hire anybody you want.
Well, I took a look at the sidewalks today. They're pretty rough, particularly
Mine,
your corner there.
but I can clean mine. I don't mind mine. If you're judging by mine, I will clean mine up. I have a push broom and a tractor. I can get that cleaned up, but there are some.
Even further down, I mean,
It's thick.
it's like an inch thick.
They hit the sidewalks a
I
lot.
know some people will do it themselves,
A
but
lot of people
others,
do anything.
others expect it to be done for them. Fully capable,
so
but expect it
Mill Hill,
to be done.
post office,
And we're at one.
down to Winters or?
Oh yeah, Winters, yep. Just past Winters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just before
On that one
Winters.
side.
Before was.
So there's another
To the
thought,
bridge.
if you wanted to save that amount of money, is tap into the school and see if there's any kids that need to work off their community service.
We could try.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Can they sweep
don't
at
know
the end of the
about-
state road?
Yeah,
Oh,
They'll push it right
Yeah.
back into our sidewalk.
Or they're gonna clean it straight out? Can we push the sand off the sidewalk
You're not
into the
supposed
state road? I
No.
do.
to.
and it ends
I
up,
give it, they give
So,
it to me and I give
It's a
it back.
challenge.
So Laura, last year, this is actually one of the advantages of doing it a little later. Last year, I had the sidewalks clean, and about a week and a half later, the state came through with their thing and pushed it all back on the
Yeah.
sidewalk. And I was not
No,
impressed.
Right now I remember. So whoever we get, we can say it's after the state.
I think they already went through because they did.
Oh, they have.
No, they haven't.
They-
They're probably waiting until the cold.
redo our sidewalks.
Probably. I know I saw them going up towards Reedsboro with the brush broom.
The state?
Yeah. They actually had a street sweeper and the push broom.
Well,
in
it's a
front.
different district.
It's a whole different. But they should, I mean, it should be soon. It's usually May.
I think it cleans up the village considerably.
And it may be good for Old Home Week if it stays clean.
The one thing I would say is you guys, the village residents own Jacksonville Electric to some degree. And there's really no other benefit that you have other than owning it and being able to have a say. This is the one thing that we give back to Jacksonville, in my opinion.
And actually, they're all paying for it.
Right.
Already.
But, right. Yep. So I just wanted to throw it out there. It is one saving.
So do we make a motion that we give James the authority to hire? Or do we make a motion to, what do we do?
Can I suggest that you make a motion to hire Matt Beatty to
Okay.
do sidewalks, unless you want to do bids?
No,
Because
I just want to have him do it.
I'd have him do it.
It'd be a better
He did,
feeling.
he did a good job.
He's done.
He does a really good job. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Someone that plows and sands here.
Yeah.
Be nice to incorporate.
it's a nice, yeah, and I think he appreciates working
Proven
on it.
himself 2 years in a row, right? Yeah.
And he came in under, he told us 3,000 and something, and so that's what we've always budgeted. And every year, I mean, the last 2 years, he's come in,
He's fair.
he's fair. You know, he could bill us for that full amount, and he does.
Yeah, I agree with
I agree with Chad.
sentiment to just hire.
And see if he would do it, agree to do it after the state gets it
That's-
done.
Yeah,
The caveat I was trying to think.
Stipulation of, he would understand that. Because why would he go through all that trouble and have it look?
yeah, I'll text him and see if, I mean, I'll probably notice. If one of you notice, tell me. That way, you know, we have a few eyes on it. You might see it, John or Laura, you guys are intent, you might see it too, Jen. So if you see it, just let me know and we'll hopefully be able to, because he won't see it.
Yeah.
I
I don't see as much these days because I'm in the garden, not sitting in my chair.
My kids might see it. I don't-
We'll hear it.
All winter long,
yeah.
I'm sitting in my chair.
I'll make a motion that we hire Matt Beatty to do the sidewalks after the state comes through and brooms the state right away.
Yeah, Lakeview
Lakeview, landscaping.
landscape.
Someone second that?
I'll second.
I'm 30.
Hey. I'm sure he'll.
Aye.
Alright. So Matt's going to work on the sidewalks, or you're gonna?
Yeah, I'll work with him on
And
how we get that done.
And he'll understand why we don't want it done tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. He was ticked when they came through last year. I think he texted me before I texted him.
To let you know.
New business?
Did you want to do any follow-up from last meeting?
Oh, I did not see that. That's
It's
why.
up to you
It was,
guys. I don't know what you need. I don't need.
Did you see or get to go a little deeper in depth to my reply?
On the job
On the-
descriptions,
yeah.
I've read through them. I think we should probably meet on it, you and I,
Okay.
and figure out, because what I'm thinking is we need to figure out how to make the rest of the board aware of the changes we're proposing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna do like a strikeout, you know what I'm talking,
Yeah.
like show editing is it for next meeting? But then I'm thinking
Yeah,
maybe you and I kind of get
Something
together.
like that, yeah.
There was just a lot, and so I was like,
I know.
We said it.
There were a lot of notes and.
But I mean, I didn't see anything crazy.
Okay.
I
But
thought it was quite thorough. Good job.
Yeah. There's a couple of ones that we're gonna have to discuss how to like you said, managing a village technically, like sidewalks don't fall under the
Right.
so it's kind of, we gotta figure out how to word it
I
with maybe
wanted
specific.
to make some comments, because I did briefly run through what you had written, and I don't think I got through all of them, but you wanted to get more specific on things, and I think being vague, not vague, but being less
Higher level.
specific opens it up. And I don't know what it is. I can't remember where we were, but I think if you go
Like
back,
roll creep?
there would, no, it was, no, it was, anyway, it stated you preferred to have this description more specific. I think if it's less specific, you're allowed to sort of
Use interpretation.
manage more. And instead of like, okay, now we gotta write this policy.
That's
for this,
my
and then you gotta
concern.
do This for this, and it's better.
I'm
to have
concerned
a
with the
little more
board.
broader
Yeah,
To be able to manage more broadly.
and that's why I think if you and
And
I
I
can
think specific
maybe
is,
meet on it, we might be able to figure out. I
That was
agree.
my first
That was
thing.
my
Yeah.
first concern was like, there are things that you guys don't want to have. In my opinion, you don't want to. And I'm concerned if some of it gets too detailed, then you really run the risk of all of a sudden, Tyler, you're gonna have to manage cleaning the sidewalks, which I'm guessing you don't want to do. But I think we can get the wording in a way that makes sense. Achieving what you want to achieve with keeping it broad enough where we need to be.
Now, when I read through it, I thought it was fine because it was broad enough
Right.
to be interpreted fairly
Mhm.
on both sides there.
Yeah.
And I just have this aversion to wordsmithing myself.
I'm a lyricist. so-
Yes, okay.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're a who?
Lyricist?
Oh, I thought it was a Capricorn or something.
No,
You're a Libra.
I am a Libra. I write lyrics.
Gotcha. Lyric.
lyricist.
Is there still
Should-
new business?
Well, is there any concern that we need to go into executive session for?
Well, I just wanted to know if there was still time to talk about new business.
Mhm.
Men working signs.
We've been using them since you said something.
Does everybody know why?
Not yet. You want to tell them?
Tell them.
You can tell them.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
2 or 3.
It was still cold out.
Yeah.
And I was coming back from Burrington Hill and the lady that lives on McMillan Road flashed her lights twice and I'm like, okay. It's 31 degrees. Maybe there's somebody off the road. I went 2 miles. And then all of a sudden I was right by Randy Bemis's house where there was a bucket. And here's James on a blind corner. And he's telling me, who he doesn't know who I am, to come, but he hadn't looked down the road yet. I'm like, I started to come, and then this truck came at what, 50 miles an hour? And James is all over the road with his hands and then telling me to go. And I'm like, he should go, because if someone else is coming out right behind him, somebody's going to get rear-ended, and you're the one with no protection at all. No men working signs, no signage at the bottom of the hill. And I know that, people are not moving them along as they should. The state is the worst offender of that. So I came down, and I don't know if it was the same day.
No, it was
It
because the
was
guys
when
were
you
still
come-
here.
You guys.
Oh, no, I think it was a couple days later, but the guys were all here.
Stick with you. And then saw you later at my job, I believe, and you said that they were now going to be using them, because it said, I think you had said that if you weren't set up to be in the same position for 30 minutes, you didn't have to do it. And I'm like, it's common sense to have it, regardless if it's on a blind corner or not. And if you only have one person instead of two, I wouldn't want that job. It's a big decision to make, and you're putting yourself out there for hurt. So we now have signage.
Oh, we've had signage. We've always had signage.
And now
We
you're
are
using
using it. It will, so what we are using it. I'm always putting men working signs up, regardless. As long as I'm there. As long as I'm there, and I have told the guys to do it as well, to always put at least utility work ahead sign out, no matter what, wherever they are. If it is on a paved road, I have said I want Richard to be working and me, so that we are there to do flagging going forward.
Yep. Okay. So like on dirt.
So essentially dirt roads, it'll just be utility work ahead. Obviously it's an unsafe corner, but that's an easy way to say, if it's on a paved road, just, we're doing it.
Yep.
Just easy.
Well, it was frightening.
That
No,
one,
because
I agree. That one, I was moving.
Well, after 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 miles, you tend to forget.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I saw the bucket truck, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Right.
She thought of enough
Right.
to let somebody, and that was halfway through the beginning of my 2 miles. And I think we're all at that point where if you don't see something right away, you think, all right, one side of your brain is saying, don't forget, something's coming up.
Yep.
Done.
Should we go, do a word,
Moving
Yeah.
on to the next.
How should we do this?
No,
Hey, Bud,
this is news to me.
would you mind leaving for a
No,
second?
no, let's do that first.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Why are
that.
you making them leave? Oh,
Oh,
you want to do that in executive session?
Take me half an hour.
That's all right.
I think it's got rain.
Oh.
All right. I'll head right along home. I'll do the rest of the evening.
Here, I'll help you out.
Thanks for letting me chat it on.
Oh, thanks for coming.
And you got to see
All
Bill.
right. That's the order.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Not.
It's not now.
Not now.
It's May.
Got it.
okay.
See, that's
June.
I thought we were. Can we do it?
I thought he
He's
had
here.
the plaque here.
Yeah,
All righty then.
yeah, I was.
So,
You found it, because it just came apart.
You turn right on red now, red light.
yeah,
Yeah,
I went to Wilmington now, going WW, that's all. Down, I had a red light. A guy comes over, this is green. So
It
I
worked out.
turned, went, he blew it, horn like a bastard. He went and head towards Jacksonville. Well, he ain't gonna come up my lane, but I'm over there, so
right.
he's gotta go around up
already
there.
shut it off or not?
He's got to actually make a 90-degree
Yeah, he
turn.
kept blowing his horn, blowing it.
Can I suggest that premature public knowledge of this event will also.
Yep.
Make it so we should go into some sort of executive session.
My little band, and I make my route, so I take all
I make a
night.
motion to go into executive session
Sure, yeah. You
in
know,
accordance with VSA
it's easier to make a right-hand turn.
313. Because it's gonna harm the public if we let them know anything.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Hi.
Right?
All right, recording is stopped. You,
I did.
I think you did. I don't remember.
Enter 7:20. Tyler made motion, Laura seconded.
Oh, there you go. It wasn't you.
What was the
Nothing to
time?
do
it
with-
was in?
7:22. Oh,
Oh, that was the other one.
That was the other one.
yep.
He's probably right. I probably did.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I remember
I
Laura.
don't know if there was a second.
Wow, I did not write that down. I wrote down all the other ones.
We were just trying to kick butt out.
We can look it up.
Yeah, I can.
So I make a motion to come out of executive session. And that is 8:31.
8:31.
I second that. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Tyler's got a motion to make.
Vern?
I make a motion. I was like, wait a second. What am I?
What am I supposed to do?
Did someone second that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't put anything because we're not on salary.
Okay.
Can I, so we can.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.